On average, 84 men take their life each week. Now, if you stop and think about that just for a second, 84 men each week. We all have sons here. Is this something that you are conscious of, just being aware of our children's mental health, but especially young men?
Yes, definitely. I mean, we all know, even, you know, with all men, like, when women go out, we discuss everything, don't we? I mean, everything. We have a laugh, but we also discuss any problems we have, whether it's in relationships or children, whatever. And I've spoken to men, and I've been out in the company of men, and they were going, men just don't do that, you know? And that always worried me. And then, of course, as my boys have got older, you know, Jake's 26, Shane's 30 now, and what scares me is they're both completely and utterly different in that respect. Jake is very open with his emotions. He'll, you know, good or bad, we can sit up till 4 or 5 in the morning discussing everything. Shane is a typical, even when I know he's down about something, and I go, are you okay? Do you want to talk? He'll go, I'm fine, Mum. And he's the one that worries me because I can't force him to talk to me, you know, and he's always said to me, Mum, don't worry, you know, I wouldn't do anything stupid or whatever. But you do worry, because I think, please just open up to me.
Yeah, I mean, my son, Jamal, he's a campaigner for depression and anxiety in young men. He's been campaigning for that for a couple of years. But I worry about the social media side of things, because you put yourself, as young people, I think even more so, you put yourself under a lot of pressure to, you know, because you're getting comments from people about something that you post, and then that affects you. You know, and coming from a reality show where you're part of everybody's world, everybody feels that they can comment, and then that puts extra pressure on you. It's like, you know, Jamal went through his driving test, his first driving test, and he posted that he was going to be taking his driving test. Unfortunately, he didn't pass the first time, he passed the second time, but he put himself under pressure because he'd posted that to come back and say, OK, I've not posted, and that puts yourself under pressure without even thinking about it.
So he was more worried that, not that he'd fail, but that everyone on social media would know he's...
Yeah, and I think what he says to me when I talk to him about depression and anxiety and things like that, he said that it is about men just trying to talk to each other and not feeling that they have to be so macho, and it's, you know, there's all these egos, and how's everybody going to take it and how's everyone going to look? Just open up to each other and talk.
Yeah, that's really good points about social media. I mean, just going back to reality shows, look, I came into this business from a reality show, and I was an ordinary person. I was actually, you know, I was in my 30s. So you go from an ordinary life and then you're put onto TV, and what people see is an edited version of you. They don't know anything about you apart from what they see on TV. When I did The Apprentice, it was in 2004, so social media wasn't really around. But I remember people making judgments of me in the street. All of a sudden, I'm like, people felt like they owed me, you know, owned me. I had well-known journalists comment about my life and who they thought I was. I was depressed for quite a long time. And you do go into a negative spiral. And the only reason I got out of it was because I had a very supportive husband and a very supportive family. So I think we all need to take a responsibility when we're making judgments and comments. We might not mean it on social media, in the papers, whatever it is. We're all guilty of it. I've done it myself. But sometimes I think we just have to all be responsible and think, we don't really know these people. We don't know their life. And I think we just have to be more responsible.
I think as well
that
there's quite a horrible train of thought that anybody who puts himself forward to be in the public eye, whether it's here, whether it's on a reality show, whether it's performing on stage, whatever it is, you are somehow immune. You don't have the same feelings as anyone else.
That's right.
And also you're fair game in some kind of way. But I think you're absolutely right. All of us need to remember, we are all human beings. And by the same way that we can hug someone in the street because a terrible atrocity has happened, you still need to have a bit of kindness reserved for someone who is being brave enough to put themselves out there and maybe try a new way of life. And just because it's maybe something that you don't agree with, maybe keep your opinions to yourself.
And I think for young men, I would say, I mean, I've got a young son. I encourage my husband to talk to him, because I just think if my son can see my husband opening up about his feelings, hopefully he'll be like, that's okay to talk. So please, if you're a young man out there, please go and seek help. You really must do.
And by what Sarah said as well. If you've been affected by anything that we've been talking about here, you'll find all the helplines that you'll need on our website.